So we're going to start, we can have our feet together. I want us to take our feet out at the front, bring them around so we've got those feet in that lovely parallel position. Draw the toes up off the mats, folks, and bring them back down one at a time if you can. And make sure you're pressing to the outside of your feet. Try not to lock out in your knees, tailbone tucked under, chin parallel to the floor. We're going to start nice and get in deep with the shoulders as you circle around, back for another 3, and forward, 4, 3. Make those circles lovely and big. Keep your chin parallel to the floor. We'll get to your neck in a while. Take hold of your hips. Let's circle in the hips with these narrower feet there. Nice big circles in one direction and the other. I'll move my mirror in a second as I can see my booty shape behind me. That's not a view any of us want to see this morning. Really lovely work. Let's take those feet slightly wider. So you want your heels just slightly wider than your hips and your toes in a 10-to-2 position. And we're just going to take our arms out to the side, palms facing down, and then I want you to turn the whole of the palms up to the ceiling. And by rotating the arms in the shoulders. So I should tee that up first for anyone who's not done this one before. And then all the way round the other way. Feeling that really little curl in the top of your shoulders there as you flex just in the shoulders. And back the other way. Really rotating those hands. See if you can go a little bit more. It's not rotate the hands, it's the arms. Sorry for that. Don't rotate the hands. Allow the positioning of your palms to know where your arms are in terms of how far you've rotated. So you keep those wrists lovely and straight, rotating the shoulders, tailbone tucked under, abdominals drawn in, looking lovely and forward. Let's make that move a little bit bigger, where you take it just slightly more into your upper back, and then starting to get into that extension right at the top of your back, early in our stretchy this morning. And you can come back and maybe lift the chin a little bit. And when you come forward, roll forward, roll the arms forward, drop the chin a little bit. And the other way. Couple more times. Really feel it deep in the arms. Really move the arms literally and deep in the sockets. And one more time. Really nice work. And lower the hands. Then we bring them back up and bring them to the sides of our head. Your elbows in your peripheral vision. Lovely breath in once again. Bring your chin to your chest this time. Keep the elbows where they are. And on the next out breath, lift the chin up through to the starting position and all the way up to the ceiling. Now, this is not what I want to see. I don't want to see the back doing any of the work. Keep those shoulder blades lovely and still. Make that movement in your neck and up top in the shoulders. We need to move with those arms. Back, bring your chin to your chest. This time, maybe feel if you were a bit tight around the back of the neck. Breathe into it, just take your time. Take a couple of breaths there with your chin at your chest to allow the chin to settle closer to your chest as you slowly and gently release in the back of the neck. Lovely breath in there, folks. Keep those abs drawn in, hips lovely and stable, shoulders lovely and still as you take your chin once more to the ceiling. See if you can lift your chin a little bit more. Stretch it through the front of the neck. Go gentle, it's still early. And back to the front. We're going to add on the elbows now. Keep those shoulders first off. We are going to add the elbows with the whole arms. Keep those shoulders drawing down your back. Elbows in your peripheral vision. Take a lovely breath in, abs drawn in. Breathe out, bring your chin to your chest. As you do so, start drawing those elbows together. Really bringing your mind-body connection to your shoulder blades. You should be feeling those shoulder blades now wanting to expand. So you're stretching down the back of the neck and you're starting to stretch in the upper back as the shoulder blades expand. Take a couple of breaths in there. Draw those elbows a little bit closer towards your towards your body, but making sure you're not pulling on your neck, folks, so that that movement is in your neck and not your hands pulling your head. Breathe in. On the out breath, we start slowly lifting the chin and the head, and the arms start slowly coming back. We get to that starting position so we can check the arms and the elbows and the head are in the right position. Elbows in your peripheral vision. You are not pulling on your head, your hands are just gently resting. And then we go all the way up to the ceiling. So you take your head, your chin, your eye line looks up to the ceiling, and you start drawing your elbows back and draw the shoulder blades together. Really concentrating on that movement in your upper back as the shoulder blades draw together, and you also hopefully get a lovely stretch down the front of your neck. And if your neck is a little sensitive, it's resting there in your hands. Let's come back to the starting position, nice and slowly, and with the breath. Elbows once again in your peripheral vision. You're checking you're not pulling on your head. We're going to do that one more time. Lovely breath in. Check those abs are lovely and stable as you bring your chin down to your chest and you draw those elbows together. As you come down, bring that chin a little bit lower. Really feel the stretch at the back of the neck. That's what we want to go for here. Bring those elbows together for me, Deirdre, if you can. That's it. See if you can lower those elbows for me without pulling on your head as well. That's it. That's it. Knew you had that in you. Take a couple of breaths in there and then go all the way back up to the front. Do it in all, go all, I want you to look at the ceiling all in one movement, but when you get through to the middle, check that those elbows in the head and eye line are in the right position so that when you start traveling through up to the ceiling and then draw those elbows back, lovely. Feel that stretch across the chest as you draw the shoulder blades even closer together. Breathing into it there. Few more times. Really nice. And bring it back to the front. Lovely work, everyone. We're going to keep those elbows there, but I want you to heel toe in and bring those feet now back into hip width parallel foot. Make sure you press on the outside of your feet and you can feel the whole underside of your feet on the floor. No locking out in your knees. We're going to breathe in again as we did before, bringing the chin to the chest. You can we don't have to bring the elbows together. You can if you want another cheeky stretch across the shoulders. As when our chin comes down, I want you to start rolling down through the spine, one vertebra at a time. Then lower your hands. I want your hands to be about the height of your top of your knees. We're going to bend those knees over your middle toe. Make sure they're in a nice position there. And we're going to hold on just above our knees. And then I want you to start sending the tailbone out behind you. And you arch your belly over your thighs. Rolling the vertebra forward bit by bit, draw your shoulder blades together. Should be lovely and warmed up now between those shoulder blades or in your shoulders, and look to the front. Taking a few breaths there, let's go into a standing angry cat. Breathe in, draw those belly buttons into your spines, tuck the tailbone under. Keep drawing in as you arch your spine behind you, one vertebra at a time. Feel the shoulder blades expand as you drop the neck, the chin to the chest, really arching out. Stay strong, folks, from the waist down. Use those abs to keep the hips lovely and stable. Use your thigh strength to keep those knees and feet in a nice position. And I want you to go back the other way one more time as I look. So relax through the abs. Start by sending your tailbone behind as much as you can as you arch those abdominals over your thighs, slowly drawing the shoulder blades together and looking up front. Lovely work. Stay stable in the lower half of the body. Looking good. That looks lovely, Tracy. Really lovely. Breathe in. And on the out breath, we go back once again into your angry cats. Draw the belly button in first. Tuck the tailbone under. Start arching the spine behind you. And lower the head, chin to chest. looking at your thighs. Really nice. Hands on your, just above your knees for me, Deirdre, if that's okay. Really lovely. And then find your midway point. So come back to like the middle of those big tilts. You should find your back should almost be parallel to the back of your calves, okay? And the abs are drawn in, shoulder blades drawn together. So what we're doing here already this morning, these may look like really gentle moves, but we're really concentrating on co-elements of our posture. So with our abs drawn in, you remember we have a sit bone in each buttock. If you want to draw those slightly together and with the abs drawn in, you're really keeping your hips and your pelvis lovely and stable. And keep the shoulder blades lovely drawn together and the eyeline just looking out in front of you, keeping your neck lovely and in line with your spine. I want us now to lift up the left heel and all the way up. I don't want you to just lift the heel. I want you to really concentrate on movement right through the feet, and you're right up on the balls of the feet, and you can feel the weight through every single toe. And lower your heel. Lift up the right heel, really moving right through the foot, really bringing that, coming up onto the balls of the feet. You may feel into the calves, but you feel it through the foot. Lower the heel. And one more time. Bring up the, not one more time, but back over to the left. Up, onto the ball of your foot. I'm really excited. I'm on a 6-hour Zoom in a couple of Fridays' time with some leading foot guru. So, you know, I've still got my mini obsession with feet. So keep going. So gentle pedaling. And I say gentle because I want you to focus micro movements through the foot, really feeling each part of that foot lifting up, feeling the whole ball of the foot in contact with the floor as you try and get a real lovely straightening of the foot there, but with the toes still in contact with the floor. And then we flex it as we bring it back to the floor. One more time each side. Really drop. Feel a lovely little stretch. If you can really lift the heel up even further, you can feel a stretch through the toes and lower the heel. When you've done an equal amount on both sides, staying in this position is quite difficult, and so you need to concentrate. I want you to reach away with your right arm with the palm facing inwards, and then reach behind you with the left. And we're going to swap. I want to see no movement in your body, only in your arms. So you draw those arms behind you. Each time, elongating the arms out of the shoulder joints, reaching up as high as you can and sending it back. So we're not swinging, folks, with wild abandon. We are reaching consciously and precisely those arms each way, really reaching away and back the other way. Maybe let's just get a little bit of momentum now. And when we do, when your right arm next go out to the front, turn your head to the left and back, turn your head to the right and keep going. And we get a little bit of momentum. You feel a little bit more give in the body as we sway, maybe a little give in the knees. Couple more times and we'll add on the respective heel. So when you look next to your left, you lift the left heel. And when you look to the right, you lift the right heel. And keep going. And I'm going to take a sneak peek. I want to see precision. I want to see that torso. I want to see control through the torso. Lovely movement through those feet. I want to see those arms really extending out each side. Really nice. Nice turn of the head. Try and get a little bit of momentum there, Steph. Just a little bit more fluidity, I think the move it may mean is maybe get a little bit more of a bounce in your knee and reach those arms out as long as you can. Just a little bit more fluidity in the neck as well for me. Another 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Slow it down. Don't want to come straight to a stop. And then the arms hang and the head has come to a standstill. Breathe in, draw the abs in. Start rolling up through the spine and straightening through the legs. And come all the way up to standing. Nice work. Let's circle those shoulders once more. And back round the other way. Nice awakening there. Spine, shoulders. And we'll do the hips a little bit more on the mat. So let's come to the edge of your mats. Start this far away so I can have the whole of me on the screen for a change. So again, we want to keep those feet hip width apart. Breathe in, tuck your tailbones in, draw the abs into your spine. Bring the chin down to your chest. Soften through the knees, but don't bend as we roll down, all the way down forward. Full front roll down, all the way down. As far as you can, come down without bending your knees first off. So if we come down as far as we can without bending our knees, we'll start having a nice stretch around the back of the knees and up our thighs, up into our hammies. Soft knees, just bend there, dangle for a few breaths. Then I want you to breathe in, draw the abs in, and roll all the way back up to standing. I want you to concentrate on restacking the vertebra one at a time. If we've got time, it's a Saturday staple, the roll back with the band. I want you to see how you feel on these roll-ups, and then when we do it on the mat, see how your spine is felt then. We're going to go off to the bias now. So with your arms each side, I want you to turn in the waist, so your chin is more in line with the top of your left thigh. Your hands dangling down now, more around each side of the left leg. And we breathe in, chin to chest. We're going to roll down now over the left leg. Take your time, come down one vertebra at a time, all the way down over that left leg. Head and arms heavy as you come down, seeing how you feel as we go down over one side then the other, and how you feel today. Come down as far as you can with the legs straight, head and arms heavy. Hang there, don't lock out in the knees, and breathe. Just enjoy that dangle and that stretch on this side. And then once again, we breathe in, belly button to the spine, restacking one vertebra at a time as we roll back up over our left leg and come all the way up to the top, nice and steady. Do not rush this move. All the way up to the top, shoulder blades back and down, and we face forward. Got a little moment there just to center ourselves, and we rotate over our right and do it all over again. So chin to chest, belly button to spine, head and arms hang heavy. We roll down over our right leg, bit by bit. Again, consciously thinking how this feels on this side versus the other side. As we roll down, bit by bit by bit, all the way down over our right leg. Dangle there, take a few breaths in, allow the spine to release, and then draw the abs in, and we roll all the way back up to the top. I don't think we've done that one for ages. I think my body quite liked that. I hope yours did too. Come all the way up to the top and back to the front. Let's do one more roll down through the front and come down to our mats. So feet lovely and parallel, weight even through both legs and feet. Breathe in, chin to chest. Those head and arms hanging heavy. We start rolling down from the top of our back. Roll down bit by bit by bit, all the way down through the spine. Take your time, folks. Watch those knees. Make sure you have that lovely relationship with your feet and that they equally have a lovely relationship with your mat as you come all the way down towards the mat. And when you come down as far as you can, we want to dangle there for a few breaths so we can keep getting a release to our lower back, hips and hamstrings. And then we're going to bend our knees over our middle toes until our fingertips reach the floor and we can actually solidly press into the floor with those fingers. I want you to straighten through the left leg. Now our hamstrings, it's still early, as I said, we'll be squealing a little bit, so no forcing anything, but I want you to draw your chest within your own range of movement and with your own breath towards the top of your thighs. So again, left leg is straight, right leg is still bent, and the chest is drawing down towards the top of your thighs. Let's take that left hand out to the side, reach it away, that elongation, all the way up until the fingertips point up to your ceiling, and you're looking up at your hand if your neck is happy for you to do that this morning. Now, when we did this, I am imagining our chest came away from our thighs a little bit. So let's draw our bodies down towards the top of our legs once more in this position. So we're getting a stretch at the back of our left thigh, and lovely elongation through the arms and a stretch through the neck, and a lovely little rotation, first one of the day, through our waist. Couple more breaths. And then come back to the starting position, both knees bent. And then we straighten through the right leg. We do this slowly first. Straighten the right leg first, staying in this position, bending the left leg, and then using the breath and gravity to slowly draw our torso to the top of our thighs, just to allow the back of our thighs, as well as those hamstrings there, just to release and relax with each breath as we wake them up in the session today. Couple more breaths, head hangs heavy. And then when we're ready, we take our right arm out to the side, fingertips trying to touch the walls, and then all the way up to touch the ceiling as we rotate in the waist. When we've rotated and the fingertips are pointed to the ceiling, let's see if we can turn our heads a little bit more, stretching and releasing through the neck to look up at the right hand. And again, once we're in that position and we've done a lovely few breaths there, draw the chest once again to the top of your thighs for a release out in the back of the hamstrings on that right leg. Keep drawing down with each breath. Don't force anything, allow gravity in your breath to do the work for you. But we do want to encourage a release, a relax of those muscles. Keep reaching up to the ceiling, keep turning the head, and it will release in time. Couple more breaths. Bend those knees, come back to the starting position. Bend those knees a little bit more, and we pop the whole of our hands on the mat and walk those hands forward into our downward dog. So we want our tailbone reaching to the ceiling behind us. We're on our balls of our feet, and our arms are really pressing into the mat, feeling lovely and strong. Let's start by stretching through the back of the calf, sending one heel to the floor, bending the other leg, and back the other way. So we are once again, for the second time this morning, pedaling through our heels, one heel then the other, but this time really going deeper into our calves as you try and take the calf to the mat, and if your heel to the mat, and if your heel comes onto the mat, see if you can press it in a little bit harder for a deeper stretch up that calf. Couple more times there this morning. If you're feeling tight in your calves, then that's something you may want to work on further over the weekend. Another 2 and another 1. Really nice. So sending both heels towards the mat, but not locking out in the knees. I want you to press the left hand into the mat. See if you can lift the right hand off the mat. I want you to thread it under the left hand and around the left calf. And let's see if we can draw there, using your balance and the strength on your 3 points there, the left hand and 2 feet, to really get a nice deeper rotation in the waist this morning. Couple more breaths. And come back, pop the hand back on the mat. When your hands are evenly weighted on the mat, lift up your left hand, thread it under the right hand and around the right calf this time. See if you can draw on that calf without falling over, using your strength and your balance to look around under that right armpit up to the ceiling as you rotate in the waist. And we hold that for a few breaths. Another 2 and 1. Both hands onto the mat, and we bring the knees to the floor. I want you to walk the hands forward so your hands are just underneath your shoulders. Your knees are underneath your hips. We're going to go into a full cat-cow now. So draw the abs into your spine, tuck the tailbone under, and arch the whole back up to the ceiling, press into the mat, look down to your thighs. I want to see some gorgeous angry cats there. So hold it there and take a few breaths in. And then staying in this position, send your tailbone down towards your heels. Now I want you to imagine your hands are glued into the mat. So you'll only come back so far, but you should get a slight stretch through under the armpits and down the arms, and also down through the back. Few breaths in there and come back up. Keeping those abs lovely and strong so you're coming back in your angry cat. And then send your tailbone up to the ceiling. Arch the spine down towards the mat bit by bit. Draw the shoulder blades down your back. And when you're in a nice position, look to the front and get a gorgeous arch the other way. And this time, I want you to travel forward, keeping grounded on your 4 points as you reach forward as far as you can without toppling over. And bring that back. And find your midway point. Now we've been doing a little bit of work on the bias. Let's try our cat-cow on the bias here. So imagine your head is pointing to an imaginary 12 o'clock. I want you to take your left hand to a 10 o'clock position and then your right hand to an 11 o'clock. And we're going to go into a cat-cow again. So tuck your tailbone under, arch your spine to the ceiling and drop your head. Really press that right arm and hand into the mat. Hopefully getting, if your hand was over close enough to the left, a stretch down that right side or down the back, the right flank on your back. And arch the spine the other way. Look to the front. And back to midpoint. Walk the hands to the starting position. Take your left hand to the imaginary 2 o'clock. And your left hand to 1. And we go again. So belly button to the spine, folks. Tuck the tailbone under. Arch your spine to the ceiling for your angry cat. Drop the head down. Really pressing this time the left arm into the mat. Try to get a stretch. You'll get that stretch wherever, it depends on how far across your left hand has come, of course, but you may get that stretch underneath your shoulder blade, down your side. It could be anywhere where you need that stretch this morning. And then send the tailbone the other way and arch your spine down towards the floor and look to the front. Really nice. And come back to that midpoint. Bring your hands back to the starting position. We're going to do a couple of thread the needles in this position. What I want you to do first though is just bring that tailbone slightly behind your knees. So instead of having the hips above your knees, bring it back so the knees are almost in front of your hips. And then we're going to start on the left side. So I want you to really be mindful of where your rib cage is, because I want you to feel the rotation in your ribs for this as well. So first off, we take that left arm up to the ceiling and we look up and we get that rotation in the waist. And then we bring it down and we thread that left arm under the right. And I want you to really reach that arm through before you do anything else. And when you can't take that, the palm is facing the ceiling. When you can't take that hand through any further, bring the shoulder down towards the floor and the side of the head if it's comfortable. And only if you're stable there, you can walk the right hand away from you. So you've got your right arm reaching away. Again, maybe getting a stretch around that shoulder blade. And you're getting a stretch, hopefully, around the left shoulder and a rotation in the waist. Couple of breaths there. We bring the right hand back first, press it into the mat, bring the left arm back up and take it all the way back up to the ceiling. Rotating your waist, look up to the ceiling and go once more. Bring it down, thread it through the right. Reach away first, get that stretch across the left shoulder first. Then draw the left shoulder towards the floor as you feel the back of the left hand press onto the floor. If
you can bring your head and or shoulders to the mat and your neck is absolutely safe. You can walk the right arm away for a stretch. And you can walk it along the floor to really try and stretch through that right shoulder as much as you can. Don't do this if you're unstable. Up your arm, shoulder and head. Really be careful of your neck. And we take a few more breaths. Draw that right hand back, press into the floor, reach up, come back in your starting position. And we're going to go the other side. Now I know we're getting into a habit after all this time of bringing our hips above our knees. So let's just make sure we bring them back slightly to start. Then rotate to look to your right as we reach our right arm up to the ceiling. Turn your head to look at the right hand. Take a glorious, well-deserved breath in. Bring that right arm down and reach it through the left. Keep reaching away. Bring the head and shoulder towards the floor once you've really got that stretch across that right shoulder. Now that may feel enough for most of us or some of us, but if your head's lovely and stable, you walk. You can also, if you wish, walk that left arm away. And we take a few breaths there, enjoying the shoulder stretch and the waist rotation. And then bring that left hand back, press into the floor and come up. And on one single move, we bring that right arm around, back up to the ceiling, reaching the fingertips up to your ceiling, and come back down again, reaching that arm through and threading it through the left. Really see if you can thread that first through. That's the most important piece, that rotation in the waist, the rib cage turning and the arm reaching forward. Bringing it down to the floor is a nice to have, and reaching the left arm away is like a cherry on the cake. So you can take each piece for how your body feels and moves this morning, and take a few breaths in there. Really nice. Bring that hand back, press up, and we're going to walk our hands forward and come onto our fronts. Just going to lower the camera a bit because I need to come a tad closer. So I've got place to move my hands. So you come onto your fronts, send those legs away from you, walk the legs away so you've got this gorgeous space between your lower rib and the top of your hip. Arms come to the side. You're looking down at yourself in an imaginary mirror. You're pressing your hips into the floor and drawing your belly button to the spine. Your crown of the head is reaching away and you're relaxed through your shoulders. You breathe in, draw your abs in, and you peel up, roll your imaginary marble away with your nose and then start peeling up through the spine, bit by bit, as you feel your sternum lift bit by bit off the mat until your lowest rib is still on the mat. Then I want you to lift those elbows up. I want you to draw the elbows down towards your waist and bring them back, and then come down to the mat bit by bit. Let's try that again. Breathe in. You have an imaginary marble under your nose. Start rolling it away. And your sternum starts peeling up bit by bit off the mat. And you keep peeling up. You feel your shoulder blades glide down your back. Your lower rib stays on the mat. You lift your arms. This time I want you to turn the palms in towards your head. Draw the elbows down and bring them back. Draw them elbows towards your waist again. This time, bring the arms behind you and place one hand on top of the other on the small of your back. Palms facing the ceiling. You are still lifted. Your abs are still drawn in. Draw the elbows behind you as the shoulder blades try and squeeze an imaginary pencil between them. And lower. And again, draw those elbows back and lower. And one more time, remembering which hand was on top of which hand, because we're going to do it again the other way around. Bring those arms back to the starting position and lower. We're going to do that one more time, but again, we're going to put the other hand on top of the other hand this time, so swap them around. So you have an imaginary marble under your nose, folks, and you are relaxed in your shoulders. Your hips are pressed into the floor. Breathe in, draw the abs in. Roll that marble away on the out breath. Start peeling up through the sternum, one bit at a time. Come up as far as you can, or until your lowest rib is the only ribs left on the mat. Take a lovely breath in there. Lift your arms up, turn the palms to your head. Bring the elbows down to your waist. Bring the hands behind you, this time popping the other hand on top of the other. Elbows out wide. Take a lovely breath in there. Draw the elbows up as the shoulder blades come together. Stretch them across the front of your chest. And lower. Breathe in on the out breath. Draw them back again. And down. And back one more time. And down. And bring the hands back. And lower. Back down. Bit by bit. Really nice. This time pressing those hands into the mat. Reach the crown of the head away. Pressing the hips into the mat. Breathe in, draw the abs in. On the out breath, start peeling up with bit by bit, but pressing the weight a little bit more into the floor this time. As you roll back through the upper back and mid back, straighten the arms and come into a cobra, looking forward, shoulders relaxed. Taking a few breaths in there, bending the elbows, lowering your body back to the mat, bit by bit. Once you're in the starting position and your arms are fully on the floor, breathe in, draw the abs in. On the out breath, roll the marble away, reach the crown of the head away. Start peeling up through the sternum, pressing the hands gently into the floor as you get a little bit more purchase and come up and get a little bit more movement through your backs this morning. Reaching those arms away, getting lovely, gorgeous movement from the top of the neck, from the top of the back, just at your neck, all the way down to your spine. Few breaths in there again. And we come down, just bit by bit, gorgeously slowly, and back onto the mat. Take the arms out to the side, palms down. Bend your right leg. Lift that right knee off the floor and start traveling the right leg over the left. Turn your head, look at your right hand. So you're looking at your right hand, you may be lying on the mat, and you're sending the the right leg over the left. Bring it over as far as you can. If it comes to the floor, that's fine. Keeping your left shoulder and side of the head on the mat, and also both palms on each hand as well. Really nice. Reach that leg a bit further behind if it's comfortable to get a deeper stretch across the lower back and in the hips. And then come all the way back, nice and slowly to the starting position. Breathe in on the out, bend the left leg, lift it up, send it over the right leg. As you do, turn to look at your left hand. Keep traveling that leg behind you as you get a lovely stretch on the other side. And hold that stretch and keep breathing. Few breaths in there. Bring the leg back onto your front. Bring the hands each side of your shoulders, press up. Come sit on your heels and reach forward. Release through the lower back. Bring the forehead down onto the mat into child's pose. A nice waking up of the spine this morning. And then come up, take your bands, and we're going to do a little roll down onto the mat and a stretch through the legs, because time is not on our side again this morning. Too much fun when we're too much fun. I'm not sorry. My husband in the garden just distracted me and my thoughts. Right, bands around your feet, up high on your sit bones and shoulder blades drawn together.
chin parallel to the floor, end of the band in each hand. Breathe in, hollow through the spine, come onto your tailbone. Breathe in, draw those shoulders forward. Now, you're going to come back in your own time. There's no competition, and I want each of you to think about how you did your roll down earlier. And now we're going to roll back, and your spine, the mat is going to give us feedback. And I want you to see how you get on with each vertebra coming down onto the mat and how that feels for you. And then come lie all the way down on the mat. And then we're going to do the same in the other direction. So use the band, not just your abs, to come up. So you can concentrate on your spinal mobility. So breathe in, draw the abs in. On the out breath, lift your head and shoulders. Really draw the shoulders to the top of your thighs. Breathe in again. See if you can come up. Really peel each vertebra off the floor and see how you're doing compared to when you roll down and how that feels. Come high up. You know I love a spine stretch and a little hamstring stretch, so let's go into our spine stretch. Send the legs long, relax the feet, pop the band in one hand. Breathe in, come up over an imaginary beach ball on your lap as you roll forward and walk down the band bit by bit. Getting a stretch through the lower back, I hope, the hips, and into the back of the thighs, wherever you feel you need it. We're going to hold that stretch, so really use that band to keep you in position as we release through wherever you need releasing this morning. Walking down, if you feel your muscles release, walk down the band another couple of millimeters. And take a few more breaths, and slowly using those abs to stabilize you, come all the way back up to sitting. Bend your knees, our last roll down of the morning, to the mat. Band each side, hollow through the abdominals. Come onto your tailbones, abs drawn in. Roll all the way down, bit by bit, onto the mat. Take your left foot out to the band, right foot up. Band in the right foot. Let's go back into those hammies. Draw that band towards you. And just get a lovely few breaths there as you get your last stretch in the hammies of the session. Couple more breaths. We're not going to do a long stay because we've been into the hammies a lot this morning. Lift up. What we are going to do though is take that left arm out to the side. Drop the leg out for an inner thigh stretch. Allow the foot to relax into the band, held beautifully by the right arm as you get a lovely stretch on that inner thigh. Feel a nice release. Then use the band to draw that leg up. Bend the knee to your chest and let's swap over. So left foot, band in left hand, foot flexed. Draw that leg towards you, keep it straight as you draw that band forward and enjoy that stretch down the back of the leg. Couple of breaths in there and allow it to come back up to the starting position, right arm out to the side as you draw the left leg out for an inner thigh stretch on the left leg. Really nice. Couple more breaths. And draw that leg back up. Knee bent into your chest. Pop both legs, pop both feet into your bands. We're going to rock up to sitting. Pop the band to one side and over on all fours. Tuck the tailbone under. So tuck your toes under. Press into the floor and push up. Walk the feet in towards the hands. Straighten the legs. Head and arms heavy. And roll up through the spine. Draw the belly button in and draw up. One vertebra at a time, nice and slowly, as you come back up to standing. When you get to the top, take hold of your right ankle. Stay lovely and stable. Feel a lovely even weight. You can hold on to the side if you need to. And I'll go sideways on so you can see it. I don't want you to pull the ankle. I want you to draw that knee behind you. Press the hips forward for a lovely stretch down the front of our thighs. So we've done the back from the buttocks down to the heels. Now we're going to do this lovely large muscle set of muscles down the front of our thighs here, our quads. Few breaths in there. Keep those shoulders drawn together and lower and go on the other side. As I said, you can challenge your balance as well, or you can hold on. Draw that knee behind you. Don't pull on the ankle. We don't want to compress the knee on this. We just want to draw that knee behind. And if you're not quite feeling it, press those hips forward and get a deeper stretch down into the flexors, hopefully as well. Couple of more breaths there. Lovely. And lower your feet. We're going to just cross the hands over. Take one big breath in. Come down, bend the knees. Hug yourself as you come down. And breathe in as you come back up. Palms together. Breathe out as you bring those hands down. Take a couple of lovely recovery breaths in there. And you're done. Thank you, folks. A bit of a speedy close. Time got the better of me. Lovely work, everyone. Thank you so, so much.